So in a couple of weeks, a bunch of you guys are going back to school. A lot of you are looking at laptops. Some of you don't want a Windows laptop. And if that's you, you're gonna love this video because I'm gonna compare every single MacBook and help you decide which one makes the most sense if you're going back to school. Now, I did a review on the MacBook Air. I put it through its paces. I showed you exactly what it can and can't do. The benefits of the MacBook Air is the fact that it's the most affordable MacBook. 2, it's the lightest MacBook. And 3, it has the best battery life out of the bunch. The problem though is only using a dual core processor, so you're very limited to the type of stuff you can do. If you're someone who is in psychology or sociology, history, or any sort of journalistic or written type based degree, the MacBook Air is probably the laptop you want because you want to be able to take this across different classes, carry it in your bag, have good battery life, stay connected to the Apple ecosystem, especially if your friends are connected as well, and still have a physical keyboard to type on. I know a lot of you people out there have concerns about the quality of the keyboard. Apparently they've updated it so that the fail rates are significantly reduced, but rest assured, Apple will cover that keyboard for years to come. The other thing is I like to call this laptop the Little Dipper because even though it's not powerful enough to consistently edit video all day or code all day, it has the ability to dip into those applications because it's using macOS, make changes, compile it out, or render it out without any issues. Now, if you're a photographer, a lot of you are probably wondering if this makes a lot of sense as well. And I showed you how it feels in Lightroom. I imported 3 gigabytes of raw files, 50 megabytes each, and it handled it. Don't get me wrong, there was a little bit of lag and you're gonna feel it, but it was still usable. It was still good enough to constantly edit photos. The other thing to note, and this goes for all the MacBook lineup, is the display you get. You get a very beautiful, color accurate Retina display. A lot of people take these displays for granted, but Apple does a really good job because unlike the other manufacturers, which are mostly sticking on 16:9 aspect ratios, this has a 16:10, so you get more vertical space, which I find is a lot more important for productivity. Now, the next machine is the MacBook Pro 13. This is what I think is the sweet spot for 90% of people going back to school. Because even if you're someone who's in a social sort of degree or a liberal art type of degree, and let's say you're taking coding on the side or something a little bit more intensive, the MacBook Pro 13 is gonna be able to handle it. You still get a very small and portable form factor, even though it weighs a little bit more. You have a lot more power inside of here. This thing comes standard with an i5, which is 2 more cores than the MacBook Air, giving you more power to work with. So if you're a developer, you don't want the MacBook Air, you want the MacBook Pro 13 because trust me, I've done the compiling tests. It makes a big difference. As you can see here in Mozilla Firefox, it rendered or compiled the file significantly faster than the MacBook Air, and that's due to the 2 extra cores. I also found this to have no issues using creative work, so Illustrator, Adobe InDesign, Lightroom. It handled it like a champ. Now, for most people, I don't think you should be looking at the MacBook Pro 15 unless you know exactly what type of applications you're using. So if you're going to film school and you're gonna be editing video, or maybe you're doing some sort of 3D animated work, then the dedicated GPU inside of this will make a big difference when you're rendering those files. And I think for most students going back to school, the MacBook Pro 13 is gonna be all the power they need. Now, if you do decide to buy the MacBook Pro 13, buy the i5 with 16 gigabytes of RAM. Do not waste the money on the i7. I don't think most people need that. I think the sweet spot is the i5 and you're gonna see great benefits from it. So anyways, that wraps this up. I know this was a very general video, but sometimes that's what people need, a very general, down-to-earth consumer video to help them figure out which MacBook makes the most sense for back to school. If you still have any questions or confused about any of these options, like I said, drop a comment down below or follow me or come join me on my Discord server. I'd be happy to help you out. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.